Hello and welcome to a new Silly Point episode. We're going to discuss something other than the IPL. The only other series going on, Pakistan South Africa. Pakistan, by their standards, actually a great win, winning in South Africa.
Yeah,
Something that Pakistan haven't done for a while. They've only done it once in their history before.
yeah.
So, fantastic win. Babar Azam, obviously, number one ranked ODI batsman now. We'll come to that as well. But overall, a good season for Pakistan. Obviously, there's a caveat that it wasn't South Africa's strongest 11.
Yeah,
But still, it was still a very good South Africa team, and they showed that in patches.
yeah,
So we'll just go through, the key performers, what the key themes were,
yeah.
and obviously the big discussion: Babar Azam versus Virat Kohli, who is the number one batsman, ODI batsman in the world.
Fair enough. We'll come to that. I mean, just a couple of points on the overall series. Yes, Pakistan did a really good job. It's difficult to win away from home,
Yeah,
especially in a country like South Africa. You know, we all know that it's a place where Asian teams don't perform as well. So
yeah,
hats off to them for winning. Not their fault that South Africa were not full strength
yeah,
really. So they played to the best of their ability, and they played the team that was put in front of them.
exactly.
um, you could say, okay, fair enough, the bowling was not as strong. The bowling was weaker for South Africa, especially after the players left for the IPL, the big players left for the IPL. So um, yeah, but really not Pakistan's fault. They played clinically and won the series. Azam, yes. Rizwan, I ever since the England series in
Yeah.
2019, where I was his only supporter when we started our channel. I was his only supporter. Everyone was not quite happy with his batting style or keeping and whatnot. And then
Yeah.
he's kind of gone on and shown how good he is across all formats. So really, really happy for him. Um, yeah, I mean, for Pakistan, apart from Azam, Fakhr Zaman, and
This one.
Rizwan, not many other top performers, right? Am I right in saying that, Zahid?
Yeah, with the bat, no. I think Hafiz had a disappointing series, the
Yeah,
T20 series. I mean, yeah, there were lots of disappointments. I mean, it was only the top order that performed really. I mean, I used to say even on a WhatsApp group,
yeah,
two down and the tail starts for Pakistan.
yeah. True,
I
true.
mean, Shadab when he was fit, when he played, Asif Ali, Saeem
Heather
Ashraf
Ali.
also not really. Heather Ali really disappointing.
Yeah,
Nawaz
that
hit a couple of sixes in the last game, but yeah,
yeah. Danish Aziz was
Danish
disappointing.
Aziz,
Mohammad Nawaz, he was batting. I felt he was batting one number too high. He was batting at
yeah,
six
number six is too
times.
too high.
So I feel like it was a bit too high for him. And even the bowling was good in patches, but not
Yeah,
as good as we'd expect from a team
yeah,
like
it
Pakistan.
was a it was hit and miss. I mean, Hassan Ali was okay. He bowled well in a couple of games. Shaheen
Yeah,
was also good, but he got whacked a couple of times.
yeah,
Fahim again. Haris Rauf hit and miss.
yeah,
Even Usman Kadir when he played. So it was really not in terms of performance. It was just maybe Babar, Rizwan, and Fakhr who kind of performed,
yeah,
and the rest of them were. It's not like any one of them was like poor except for Pakistan's middle order.
yeah,
I mean, Shaheen, he took a couple of wickets, but it's just that they weren't. No one had like a consistently good series.
true,
Shaheen,
true.
I give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, the guys played like every single game.
Yeah,
I don't know when they're going. I hope the rest of the Zimbabwe series,
they will, they will.
even though it might
Um,
boost his stats, but
yeah.
but the guy really needs a rest. I mean, he's been playing
Yeah,
every single
I
game.
agree. I mean, this performance, the series performance reminds me of India of the old, where it used to only be like Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli, and Rohit Sharma performing, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, now we've got the likes of Jadeja and Pandya and Iyer who are up to it, Rishabh Pant.
yeah,
So this kind of performance reminds me of that for Pakistan.
yeah,
Um, and maybe they just need to stick with some players, right? If they think, I'm not saying that Asif Ali is good or great or whatever.
yeah,
He's kind of like he's very good in the PSL, but then when it comes to
yeah.
international cricket, he struggles. So, but if the management thinks that yes, he's the right player to bat at 5-6, then they should stick with him and give him more opportunity. If they think Mohammad Nawaz is the left arm orthodox player over Imad Wasim, then they
Yeah.
should give him opportunities, right?
I
Stick
mean,
with him.
Nawaz, I don't mind. He's bowled decently well. with
Yeah.
the bat, he's shown that he can hit up to six. Not a number six batsman, but maybe number
Yeah.
seven, number eight.
Yeah.
He's okay. Hassan Ali, he's played a couple of crucial innings with the bat actually.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of good, good things that have come out of it. But I think the balance needs to be right. Asif Ali, not in ODIs for sure. I don't know why he played the ODIs that he did.
Yeah.
Danish Aziz, I think he didn't play it that well, but he should at least be given more chances. I mean, Heather Ali, I have no clue. I mean, he's got so much potential, but every game he just scores 10 and out.
Yeah.
But the problem again is, who else do you pick? I think
Who
there's
else?
an
Yeah.
issue with,
True.
depth, So you have obviously Babar. The problem is, the other option you have is Sharjeel Khan maybe.
Yeah.
But then you're ending up with four openers, right, for
Yeah.
T20s. You
True.
can't open with Babar, Rizwan,
Yeah.
Sharjeel, and Fakhr. And then the issue is ideally you can say on paper, okay, you open with Fakhr and Sharjeel and you have Babar at 3 and Rizwan at 4, but then you have Hafiz at 5. I
Yeah.
don't think that works because Rizwan and Babar only work if they open.
Yeah. True. True. Agreed.
Although Babar, we played that obviously the 100 that he
Yeah.
got,
Yeah.
as amazing as it was, and it was fantastic innings, very un-Babar Azam type
Yeah. Yeah.
that we've come to see. But and that's where he needs to move. If he can show that he can do more of that, then maybe he can move in the middle order.
I was going to say, I mean, on that wicket, right,
Yeah.
the kind of innings that he played, uh, I guess it had to be done, right?
Yeah.
If he would have played any other way,
Yeah.
right, if that innings would have gone any other way, I think people would have questioned him again.
Yeah.
So that I think that was the right way to play on that wicket. But I think he also needs to think about his strike rate in other games.
Yeah. In the previous game, he got 50 or 50.
Yeah. So
that next game he got 100 or 49 or something. So
yeah, but I mean, he needs to be a little more consistent.
Yeah.
In games where the wicket is slightly more difficult, he needs to be scoring at 120, 130. I'm not saying that he needs to score at 150.
Yeah.
But if he can get to like 130 strike rate, I think that's a reasonable strike rate for a batsman like him, right?
Yeah, and then with others, if Fakhr and Hafiz, they fire around him, in Pakistan can
Yeah.
get to 190,
Yeah.
200 score, which is
Fair enough.
what they need really.
Cool. Just a few points on South Africa, and then we'll come to the big, the big debate. Yeah, I mean, South Africa played well in patches.
Yeah.
I think the player that's got the most out of this series is Aiden Markram.
Yeah.
I think he got a long run, in the T20s especially, and he showed that he's got a very, very attacking mindset. So he's batted really well in the T20s. So, good for him. Rassie van der Dussen, I mean, he's been brilliant ever since he's come into the South African team, right? Even in the World Cup, he was the 2019 World Cup. He was kind of their best batsman.
Yeah.
So yeah, he, what can you say about him? He's just been brilliant. He plays to the situation. He can score quickly. He can come in after loss of wickets and stabilize things. So yeah, he can do everything.
Yeah, I agree with you. Van der Dussen. I mean, especially Pakistan, he seems to have a number of Pakistan. He debuted against them as well and did really well.
Okay.
So he's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And Markram, I think it'll be interesting to see, when the full strength of Africa team is plays who opens. They have obviously Faf is an option.
Yeah.
QDK, Markram. So it'll be interesting to see what balance they go with. The bowling, I think it was a bit disappointing. I mean, Shamsi was hit and miss. There were times where he just became unplayable. I don't know. It was more, I think, to do with the situation and just getting to the head.
Yeah.
Because you saw Fakhr Zaman, when he wanted to go after him in that second ODI when he got 190, he literally tore him apart.
Yeah.
But then there were times where he was just unplayable. Like in the last T20 where he just got on a good run.
Yeah.
And then he just they couldn't pick him.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he's had a decent series. But then the rest of them was pretty disappointing, right? So
yeah, I mean, all of the new players. So you've got the likes of Magala, Lizard Williams, Buron Hendricks has been around, but he got hammered, absolutely hammered in the T20s.
Fortune, yeah, he didn't do that well either.
Yeah, he didn't do that well. I mean, George Linde was decent.
Yeah,
Heinrich Klaassen was decent. So the players that have been around the squad for a while have been decent players. So I mean, decent signs for South Africa, but clearly they need to get better.
Yeah, I mean, once they have Rabada and Nokia back,
then
Chris Morris, I don't know what the situation is with him if he's going to come back into the international fold, but they once they have full strength, lower order / bowling attack, I think they're a formidable team.
True, true. I agree there. Like if and you've got the likes of Dwayne Pretorius, who's also a decent all-rounder.
Yeah,
If he's fit, then he comes in straight away. So I think
yeah,
South Africa will look much stronger,
yeah.
once players are back.
Yeah, I think we're coming back to Pakistan. I think the one the good thing that came out obviously was just a one-off chase when they chased 200 for one in 18 overs. But that was a very un-Pakistan-like chase.
Yeah, true,
So
true.
convincing. We've seen in the four other chases they had.
Yeah,
That's a more typical Pakistan chase when they're ahead. They make a good start like they did
yeah,
in a couple of the ODIs, and then they just mess it up.
yeah, true.
And they lost, and they nearly lost it. I mean, nearly lost the last ODI.
Yeah,
They nearly lost the first ODI. They nearly lost the last T20
yeah,
after being in very good positions. So they've panicked
true.
a couple of times
Yeah,
getting over the line. But that 200, I think it shows that if they do back themselves, they can do that, and that's what you need to do. Looking
yeah,
forward to the World T20.
true,
Those kind of convincing big chases is something Pakistan's not known for.
true.
So I think that's a big. That's one performance that they can at least bank themselves and be like, okay, we can chase these big targets,
True.
which historically obviously Pakistan really struggled to do.
Yeah. Coming on
So,
to the big,
so the
big,
number
big
one
debate.
ODI batsman,
Yeah, I
Babar
mean,
Azam.
look,
Look, it's
look. Sorry, you go first. You were saying.
yeah. Look, obviously slightly biased. I mean, Babar Azam has been really good. I think it's a bit of both. It's his amazing form has coincided with a slight dip in Kohli's form by Kohli standards.
Yeah,
Not just the IPL where he's had a couple of slow starts,
yeah,
but even in the international, obviously every day goes by when Kohli hasn't scored 100 in X number of days.
yeah,
Babar's form has been phenomenal. I think it just helped also that he got 100 the same day that he was officially ranked number one,
yeah,
although it was
true.
in a different format.
Yeah,
But I think his form has been phenomenal. I think it's a couple of things. Like obviously, you have to look at it in two ways. Right? One, where Kohli is now in his career
yeah,
is way ahead. I mean, okay,
yeah,
ranking wise, rankings are mainly based on form, right?
yeah,
I mean,
true.
Tabraiz Shamsi is the world number one T20 bowler. Is he really the world number one T20 bowler? He's
Not
not even playing
necessarily.
in the
Yeah,
IPL,
yeah,
right?
hmm,
So that's one thing.
yeah,
Where it's more of a form thing. Overall, what Kohli's done, what Babar Azam, there's a long way for him to go. But yes, currently the way he's going on form,
yeah. I mean, that was exactly going to be my point.
yeah,
Yes, he's dethroned Kohli as the number one ODI batsman, but the run that Kohli's had being number one, it's been 41 months.
yeah,
So that's like almost
yeah,
4 years that Kohli has been the number one ODI batsman. So yes, Babar Azam has got a very, very long way to go
yeah.
in that respect, right?
I agree.
Yes, based on form, agree. Babar Azam's form is phenomenal across all formats, right?
Yeah,
And the slight extenuating circumstances for Kohli's form, I just think that Kohli is now trying to adapt his game. He's
yeah,
trying to change his game in ODIs and T20s, especially to be more aggressive. So
yeah,
every time he's got to like a 50, or even early on in his innings, he's tried to take on the bowling. He's trying to adapt the mindset that the England players have, that the England team
yeah,
has. No matter what, we're going to be aggressive and score runs. So
yeah,
I think that has hampered Kohli's run scoring a little bit,
yeah,
and that's why there's that slight dip, if you like, in form where he hasn't scored 100 for a long time.
yeah,
But yeah, that I feel like Virat Kohli has been the pioneer
yeah,
in chasing down targets,
yeah,
whether that is in ODIs or T20s, right? And even if you compare, I know there have been lots of comparisons between Babar Azam's record after 80 ODIs
yeah.
versus
70
Virat
ODIs.
Kohli after 80 ODIs. And yes, Babar Azam's record is better. The
Yeah,
question is whether he can sustain that.
yeah,
Virat Kohli kind of took off after that point,
yeah,
around 2012 when he started scoring those big runs, scoring them consistently. His fitness went to another level. So, yes, Babar Azam, he's got the ability, he's got the quality, he's got everything going for him. The
yeah,
question now is whether he can sustain that, whether he can maintain
yeah.
that, whether he can get to that level.
Yeah, I think obviously that T20 100 was a big step because he showed that he can kind of play in a different gear. He can score big.
Yeah,
From an ODI perspective, I think my biggest issue, and it's really I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just to be the best. That's the thing you need to look at. His high score in ODIs is 125 against I think against West Indies. Um, although he's got 12, 1300. So I think he
Yeah,
needs that 180 that Kohli got against Pakistan. Right? He needs that kind of innings to really elevate him.
yeah, yeah,
A real big statement. I mean, he gets hundreds, Babar, but he gets out
yeah,
after scoring those. I think he needs that. I mean, this is not a criticism. It's just what more he needs to do to be that number one batsman, right? I mean, this
yeah.
is not
Agreed.
what he's doing is phenomenal. He's fine in the top three, top four.
Yeah, yeah,
And if he
yeah.
keeps doing what he's doing now, he'll be there. But to
So
be
cool.
number one, he needs to do more of that. He needs to get those
Yeah.
150s, 160s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
He needs to bail Pakistan out of an
yeah.
impossible situation, and he needs to do that multiple times, right? If that
And,
is, if
uh,
that could be, Pakistan being 10 for 3, and then him scoring 100 and taking them to 300,
yeah,
batting first, or it could be Pakistan being, 5 for 1, chasing a target of 350, and he gets them there.
yeah,
Those are the kind of
exactly.
situations that Kohli made his name from.
I'm sure with
So
Pakistan's batting, he'll get lots of chances to do that.
yeah, but he needs to take those chances with both hands. He needs to do them at home. We all know he can do that at home. He can do that in flat wickets. He needs to do them against potentially better opposition. So South Africa, sorry, Australia, New Zealand, England.
Yeah, but I think that's the point. A lot of people pointed out that he's done it against Zimbabwe. But I think that's really unfair. I think if you actually look at his record in Australia, in
Yeah.
South Africa, in England, he's got 100 against all of those teams, right? So
Okay, yeah, that's
I think
fine
it's
then.
it's a
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
unfair to say that he's a
So
Zimbabwean
yeah,
bully.
then it's not necessarily about scoring against these teams, but it's about
Yeah.
scoring the difficult and hard runs
Yeah,
against these
it's a
teams, right?
situation. It is
Yeah, it's
I
about the
mean, obviously
situation.
people point to that 100 against New Zealand,
Yeah,
but again, you're chasing 240 in that game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think that's the one thing. The innings that Fakhar Zaman played against that
That
190.
exactly,
Yeah,
that is the kind of innings that will propel you to being, but you need to do that consistently, right?
yeah,
If Fakar doesn't score another 100 for the next 2-3 years, then it's pointless. You know what I'm saying,
yeah.
right?
I agree. So
You need to be
although
consistent.
there needs to be a caveat, Kohli's his peak form came in at the same time when he had Dhawan and Sharma phenomenal form as
Yeah,
well. So he had a lot of support.
I
I
guess.
think the
Yeah,
issue with
yeah.
Babar Azam is that he plays he is the gap between him and the next best batsman is huge. Okay, now
Well,
Rizwan's improving
yeah,
now.
I was
Hafiz
going to
doesn't
say,
play.
yeah, I was going to say Rizwan, at
Fakhar
least in,
is yeah
at least, well, Hafiz in T20s, yes, but if you look at limited overs internationals, then potentially you could say Fakar. Imam is pretty consistent Imam is really consistent in ODIs. Yeah, you've got Rizwan around you, you've got Hafiz in T20s. So there are some good signs there for the batting. So
yeah. But
hopefully,
yeah, I think he needs to be more consistent. Fakhar wasn't part of the team because he's been so inconsistent after the Champions
yeah,
Trophy that
yeah,
he was dropped, right?
true. Yeah,
But no one came in and really took that spot anyway. So I think been the other issue for Babar. He's not had
yeah,
he's kind of had to carry the team
yeah,
along as well,
yeah, true.
um, and hence he probably can't play as freely as Kohli was when he was
I
in
agree.
his peak form. But yeah, I mean it's a great debate to have. Obviously for
Yeah,
us, we were just lucky that to have both of these players in our
in
time,
the
especially
same
for
lineup.
Pakistan
Yeah,
because we
yeah,
haven't had a good batsman in a very very long time.
true, true.
Um, Someone who's come in and really, taken the game by the scruff of the neck, someone like a Mohammad Yusuf or maybe named Zaman.
Yeah,
So it's just enjoying it while it lasts.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, my opinion is, I mean, in terms of rankings, Babar Azam might be number one, but overall, I think Kohli is
yeah,
still ahead. And it's an unfair comparison to be honest, but
yeah, yeah,
it's fun to have this
yeah, yeah.
these talks. But
True.
we'll see where Babar is in 4 years' time. Right?
Yeah, true, true.
I think the debate is driven by where you come from rather than what you actually think about them.
No, not. I mean, no. Look, I agree that on based on current form, yes, Babar Azam is the best batsman in the world at the moment on
Yeah,
current form. So that is what the rankings are telling us, and that's what we can see as well. So whether he's going to become as great as Kohli, whether he's
yeah,
going to become that legend, he's already Pakistan's. You could say is one of Pakistan's best already,
yeah.
but whether he can be counted among the greats like Ponting, Lara, Tendulkar, that kind of that in that
Agree,
bracket, I think there's some time for him to prove that.
agree.
But
Understood.
he certainly can be Pakistan's best. He probably already is Pakistan's best.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, 80 games is a small sample size to consider him
Yeah,
among the all times.
yeah,
You need at
true.
least 150, 200 games, and yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see where he is,
yeah,
in a couple of years' time. But
true.
where, on a couple of metrics, looking at where Kohli is now,
Signs
where
are good.
Yeah, signs are good. I mean, he's good.
Signs are
He's in the
good.
right. He's done the right things.
Yeah,
He's doing the right things, and that's all you can expect from him, really.
true,
And
true.
let's see where he is in a
Yeah.
few years. Cool. So that's our episode. Let us know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'm sure Kohli fans will be a bit angry, but anyways, as always, do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let us know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.